So again, hello and good afternoon and good evening to all of you. And I want to thank you from my heart for giving this time. It is your most precious gift, and thank you for sharing your time and giving it to us today. I will try and give value. I will try and give information that is of interest, of benefit to all of you. Today we call an introduction to coaching. And the purpose is to give you an understanding, both an intellectual, we've got more people logging on, both an intellectual, psychological, and emotional understanding of what does it mean to be a coach? What does a coach do with their clients? How do they engage with their clients? What is it like? And how do you become a coach? And what is the training like? And then what is the marketplace like? But today is your meeting, ladies and gentlemen. So please, if you have any questions at all, please ask them. I'm happy for you to unmute yourself and talk and shout out or put your hand up, or you can put it in the chat box. But please ask any questions. I want to make sure that we give as much value as we possibly can to all of you today. So we have people from about 8 or 10 different countries, from Mexico right through to China and everywhere in between. So, coaching. Life coaching, executive coaching, team coaching, corporate coaching, this is still a relatively young industry. Now, you may or may not know, but it is now the second fastest growing industry in the world. Where am I getting those figures? I don't know if any of you have come across an organization called PwC, Price Waterhouse Coopers. Maybe you've heard of them. They do an annual survey on the world of coaching. In fact, they've done an annual survey every year for the last 8 years on the world of coaching. You can download their survey by going to their website, the American website, and it's a 150-page PDF. And it goes into everything about the world of coaching. So the figures I am going to quote you today are from the most recent worldwide PwC and ICF survey. And PwC, Price Waterhouse Coopers, they are the ones who do this worldwide survey. So coaching right now is the second fastest growing industry in the world. Now, would anyone like to make a guess as to what the number one industry is? The fastest growing. Anyone hazard a guess?
IT.
IT. That's Ava. You are absolutely right. Ava from beautiful Mexico City. You are correct. IT, software, hardware, that is the number one fastest growing. And number two is coaching. But there's a sad fact about coaching. And for the purpose of this meeting, I will say that there are two types of coaches: the good and the successful. Unfortunately, the good are not always successful. And unfortunately, the successful are not always good. What do I mean by that? Many of the successful coaches are not necessarily good at coaching, but they are very good at marketing themselves. So I find that a little bit frustrating. So our company, Noble Manhattan, we have been established now for 23 years. We have trained over 25,000 coaches worldwide, and we have offices right now covering 25 separate countries worldwide. And we do two things. Number one, we train people to be magnificent coaches. And I'll talk to you about that later. But number two, and almost more importantly in many ways, once we have trained those people to be coaches, we look after them, we take care of them, and we do everything in our power to help them to build and grow a successful coaching business. So before we get into coaching, and I'll explain everything about it, I want to take 5 minutes of your time. And I want to explain, what do we do to help you as a student coach, as a qualified coach? So if you think about the shape of our company this way, we have Noble Manhattan Coach Training in the middle. We are like a college. We have over 20 separate coach training programs. Everything from a one-day introduction right up to a master's degree in coaching. So we have about 20 different programs. So Noble Manhattan Coaching is in the middle. And then round the outside, we have many different divisions. And every division is designed to do one thing and one thing only. And that is to help you to build and grow your coaching practice, to help you to generate an income and to attract clients. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to take just a few moments, going to show you the shape of our company, and then we will come back and we will focus on coaching. So hopefully the internet won't let me down when I'm doing this. Okay, and right. So I'm just readjusting my various screens. I have so many screens on my desk here. I'm hoping that you can now see one of our websites. Perhaps someone can give me a thumbs up. And thank you, EA, lovely. So this is our main website. We have over 30 websites in the company. Next, we own a magazine. The magazine is called the International Coaching News. It is the biggest magazine in the coaching world. It goes out, let's just scroll down, see how many it goes out to. It goes out to just over 100,000 people every issue. And we employ a completely separate team of managing directors, editors, graphics designers, copywriters to produce this. We give the magazine away for free. We have won awards for the most unbiased, effective journalism within the coaching world. And we allow all of our students and coaches, no matter where you are, to write for the magazine. You can submit an article, an essay, a case study, an interview, a white paper, and we will publish it. And that will help you to raise your brand, raise your image, and become known worldwide. So that's our magazine. We then have a division called Coaching Support. And this is where we run physical meetings. We run a physical meeting one evening every month in cities all over the world. In fact, we've just now recently launched one in Geneva, in Zurich, and in Lugano, in Switzerland. So wherever you live, it is very probable that we will run a coaching support group near you. This is a meeting that happens one evening every month. We deliver a talk, lecture, workshop, seminar, networking, practice coaching, masterminds, and much, much more. And we open them to the world, to the public. If I just look, we have them all over the world. I'll just go to India. We have one in Mumbai, the lovely city of Mumbai. Each coaching support group is run by a team of 7 people, a president, a vice president, and 5 officers. This is our team in lovely Mumbai. So this again is designed to support you and help you on your lifelong journey as a coach. Next, we own a listing, a register. It's called coachfinder.com. It is the biggest register of coaches on the planet. And we allow all of our people, anyone in Noble Manhattan, completely free of charge to have their own listing, so that clients, we call them coachees, potential clients can find you and engage with you. And the clients can search by type of coaching, from life coaching, executive coaching, spiritual coaching, addiction coaching, relationship coaching, wealth coaching. They can search by your name if they know you. They can search by the map. And you can have a huge listing and upload audios, videos, photographs, resumes in multiple languages. So this is available to all of our people worldwide. We own a publishing arm, and the name is good. It's called Books for You. Books for You. And for all of our coaches and students, we will publish for you free of charge anything we can deliver online. For example, ebooks, articles, white papers, case studies, interviews, essays, and so on. And we do that to help you raise your brand and your image. We currently publish in over 10 different languages. Oh, by the way, we're the only coach training company in the whole world that has these extra divisions that help people. We own a radio platform called Coach Radio. And we allow every one of you to have your own monthly radio show. I don't know who we got on at the moment.
Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are...
Okay, so that's happening right now. And this one?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talk Money Show. The show with...
That's Agnesia, one of our coaches from Johannesburg in South Africa. She's live right now. We broadcast in, again, it's either 10 or 12 languages, I can't remember. And we've done a deal with a little company you probably haven't heard of called iTunes. Maybe you have heard of iTunes. And all of our shows appear on iTunes forever. Also, a company called Stitcher, one of the biggest podcasting companies in the world. How much do we charge you? Zero. We do it to help you raise your brand and build a successful coaching practice. I'm nearly at the end. We will also provide you with what we call lead generation pages. I don't know if you've heard this language before, but sales pages, lead generation pages, and sales funnels. We create that for you. We have a very specialist division. This isn't for everyone. It's for people who want to work in the business, in the corporate world. We work with business owners. That division is called the Alpha Group. On a technical side, some of our students and coaches are very, very technically aware. Others are not, a bit like me. So we will provide everything you need. If you need us, we'll build you websites, blog sites. We will set up all of your social media, all of your groups and pages. We'll do search engine optimization and much, much more. So we have that available. Now, this one is unique. There is no other company does this. One of our divisions is called Noble Coaches. We actually find you work. We have a dedicated team of business development managers who go out into the world. They contact large corporations. We negotiate contracts, executive coaching, team coaching, leadership development, management development, and then we give that work to some of the coaches that have trained with us, and we share the revenue. So we actually find you the work and we pay you to deliver it. No other company does this. Here are some of our clients. You might recognize some names. Airbus, a big European manufacturer. Bank of Scotland in Scotland. A little company here you might not have heard of, Coca-Cola. Not sure if you've come across them before. That was in India, by the way. Citi, a big American banking and insurance company. LOT, Polish Airlines. Pepsi Cola, don't know if you've come across them. And much, much more. So we find you work. We have a blog which was rated last year in the top 20 out of 48 million blogs for leadership and coaching. We use that to promote you and your business. I'm nearly at the end. And then we have unique training programs, as well as our normal coach training, executive training, team coaching. We do unique programs such as this creativity coach training program. And a new one we launched yesterday, called the Existential Wellness Coach Training Program. So I'm sharing those with you just to show you that not only do we train people to be magnificent coaches, we then look after you and take care of you and help you to build and grow a very successful coaching practice, which is almost as important in many ways. So sorry for taking your time, but I wanted to give you an overview of the shape of the organization. So now let's look at coaching. And I'm going to talk about life coaching, executive coaching, team coaching. What does it do? How does it work? How much do coaches earn? How do you train to be a coach? What does it look like? What do coaches do? So we'll cover all of that. But again, if you have any questions, anything, just unmute yourself and talk to me. And I want you to get your questions answered today, please. So here we go. I'm showing you a PowerPoint, as you can imagine. Welcome. Oh yes, our company, established in 95, delivering coaching, started to train coaches in 99, so actually 24 years ago now. We've trained over 25,000 countries, and there are about 400 people work in the organization. So we're not exactly Google or IBM, but we're happy with where we are. So now let's talk about coaching. Before we do that, I want to share an interesting statistic. Before COVID, before the whole COVID pandemic, coaching all around the world was being delivered at a distance. In fact, 90% of coaching was being delivered at a distance using Zoom, Skype, Hangouts, all of that. Then COVID came along. Now the figure, according to PwC, is about 98% of coaching is being delivered at a distance. 98%, which is huge, absolutely huge. I love that. I have to tell you, I really love it. Let me give you an example. I live in the south of England. I'm in my home office here right now. I live in a small town called Weymouth. It's very beautiful. It's by the sea, but it's very small. One of my clients is called Celia. Celia lives in a place called La Jolla, near San Diego in California. I coach with Celia at 8 a.m. in the morning, her time. For me, that is 4 p.m. in the afternoon. There's an 8-hour time difference. So she gets into the office early, we open Zoom, and we have a 1-hour coaching session before she starts her work. We've been coaching on and off now for about 5 years. Not every month, but on a regular basis. I've never met Celia. Never physically met her. We do it all. I feel I do because her face is large on Zoom and we interact, but I've never actually met her. I have a client called Douglas in Singapore. I have a lady called Margarita in Gdansk in the north of Poland. A gentleman called Wodek in the city of Łódź in Poland. And another gentleman in Valencia in Spain. His name is Taylor. All of these are clients. I have never met any of them physically. We do it all on Zoom. Now, I'm telling you that for a reason, because I love that. It means that as a coach, you can do something that most people in life can never do, ever. You can live where you want to live, not where you have to live. Most people actually live where their job is, where their work is. In fact, it's more than that. People will move. They will move from one city to another if there's a better job. It's the opposite here. You can live where you want to live and build your business anywhere in the world. The only restriction is language. That's it. So I love that. So now let's look at the foundations of coaching. And all coaching has got 3 pillars. Number 1, coaches are non-judgmental. What does that mean? It means that to a good coach, it doesn't matter who your clients are. It should not matter if your clients are young or old, rich or poor, male or female. It should not matter the color of their skin or the belief system that they follow. Coaches should be completely non-judgmental. Now, having said that, the unfortunate truth is that most of us are. We are judgmental. Not in a horrible way, but we grew up in a family and we get influenced. You go to school, you get influenced. Today, you watch television programs, you get influenced. You meet your friends for a coffee, you get influenced. So actually, most of us have this huge block of judgment sitting on our shoulders. And when you train to be a coach, we teach you how to take your judgments like a jacket, take them off and put them to one side. So when you are with a client, you are completely clear of judgments. And then when you're finished coaching, if you really want to, you can take your judgments and put them all back on again. But something strange happens, something weird happens. The more you do it, the more you become it. And the more you practice being non-judgmental, the more you actually become more non-judgmental, more compassionate, more accepting of people. And I think that's a good thing. But then that's my judgment. So even that is a judgment. So what do you need? You need to have the willingness in here, in your heart, the willingness to learn how to be non-judgmental. I travel a lot. I travel all over the world, meeting our teams and meeting our students and coaches. And people ask questions, of course. But there's one question that gets asked a lot. And that question is, what do you need? What do you need to be a great coach? And there are 2 answers, ladies and gentlemen. The official answer and the truth. And the official answer is, oh my goodness, there's so much to learn. You need to be an expert in questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, belief, self-esteem, building rapport, goal planning, goal setting, and many other topics. But that's not really the truth. The truth is, you need one thing, just one. You need to love people. You really need to love working with people. If you love working with people, we can teach you the stuff. We can teach you the methods, the techniques, the tools, but we can't teach you to love people. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. So if you don't love people, please don't be a coach. Be an accountant or something, or a lawyer. No, I didn't say that. We'll have to delete that from the recording. If you're a lawyer or an accountant, forgive me, please. Forgive me. So coaches are non-judgmental. Number 2, coaches are non-directional. Non-directional. What does that mean? It means that as a coach, there are certain words we don't use. Words like must, have to, ought to, should. We don't point fingers. We don't tell people what to do. Now, let's be honest. Is there anything wrong with being directional? Well, no, not really. If we were together in a hotel doing this meeting in a traditional way, and we're all sitting in a hotel conference room, and imagine that the alarm bells went off, the fire alarm, and we'll just say Katerina stood up, and Katerina said, "Everyone, shh, be silent. Listen to me. Do exactly what I tell you, and I will lead you out of here safely." You know, if that happened, I would do exactly what Katerina says. I would not want to call a meeting to discuss it. So there are times in life it is appropriate to be directional. But coaching is non-directional. We do not tell people what to do. We do not point fingers. And now we come to number 3. But actually it's not number 3, it's number 1, numero uno. Coaches have no answer. And this confuses people a lot, you know. Coaches have no answer. And it comes from something that Einstein said in the 1930s, Albert Einstein. And if I can remember what he said, I never look at my notes. What did he say? He said, in order to solve the problems that we currently face in life, we must access a higher level of intelligence than that which we used to originally create the problem. So I'll say that one more time. In order to solve the problems that we face in life, we must access a higher level of intelligence than that which we used to originally create the problem. Now, there are 2 messages in that statement. And the first message, I've got to tell you, I think is a little bit negative. The first message basically says, whatever you and I are experiencing in our life, we have created it. Now, do you all agree with that statement? Some do, some don't, some nodding, some not too sure. You know, I don't feel very comfortable with that, because if you are going through something really difficult in your life, if you are going through something awful, you don't want someone coming to you and saying, well, you've created this yourself. You want someone to show you love and compassion. So is he right? Is Albert Einstein right? Do we create the life that we experience? Well, unfortunately, he is. He is. And in coaching, we use the phrase, we manifest our destiny, or we manifest our life. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, we do it in many ways. Now, today, I do not want to talk to you about quantum physics, even though that is very relevant. I don't want to talk to you about the power of thought and vibration, even though that is very relevant. I don't want to talk to you about holographic universes, even though that is very relevant. I'll give you one example. Decisions. Our life is made up of the thousands and thousands of decisions that we make every day, every week, every month. That decision to have that alcoholic drink or not. That decision to have that cigarette or not. That decision to lie in bed or get up early. That decision to watch television for another 2 hours or go for a walk in the fresh air. That decision when you are feeling hungry and you are walking downtown and you turn left into McDonald's Or you turn right into something like, I can't think. I can't think. I cannot think of one name of an international chain that's healthy. Anyway, but you turn, isn't that a sad reflection of the world we live in? I cannot think of one name that would be healthy. But you know what I mean. You turn into a juice bar or a salad bar or something. These are the decisions we make day after day after day after day. And they create our life. And I like that. Because it means you and I, we can instantly start making different decisions and we will instantly experience different outcomes. So our life is created by the thousands of decisions we make every single month, and we can change that instantly. I like that very much. So the second part of Einstein's statement is a bit more complicated. How can I explain it? There's about 30 of us here on this call today. I don't know you. You don't know me. Maybe we'll meet at some point in the future. Who knows? You never know where these things go. So I don't know you, but I know a huge amount about you. I know a lot about you. Number one, you are human beings. And as human beings, you have the most incredible power. You have a strength. You have a magnificence. If you only came to a true understanding of how incredible you are, it would shock you. In fact, you have an inner light that shines, that is out of this world. And I use that phrase very deliberately. I'll say it again. You have an inner light that shines, that is out of this world. You are so incredible and powerful and strong and magnificent. If you only came to a true understanding of what you are capable of, it would shock you in a lovely way, in a nice way. That's human beings. You are also spiritual beings. And as spiritual beings, you have within you an omnipower, an omnistrength. And here's the point I want to make. You have access to every resource you could ever need to help you to deal with any problem that life gives you. Also, you have access to every resource you need to help you to set and achieve any goal in life that you want to achieve. This I know with a deep sense of knowing. The problem is when we are little children, no one ever sits us down and teaches us about the power we have within, how to access that power and how to direct it outwards. We never learn these things. And some people go through the whole of their life and never learn these things, how magnificent they are. And this is what coaches do. As a coach, we help our clients to understand how incredible they are and how to access their inner power and their inner strength. And we do it in many different ways. I hope you can see a whiteboard. Can you see a whiteboard that I'm just showing you? Yeah. You'll have to excuse me. I've got 3 different screens here and I've got a digital pen. So we use many tools, many techniques. One of the tools, just one, is called the Wheel of Life. And when we're with a client, we would sit down and go through with them what we call the Wheel of Life. We would look at their health, career, money. By the way, money is not the same as career. A lot of people join the two. They're very different. The people you love, so the people close to you and your family that you love very much. Your intellect, your knowledge, what are you learning? fun, social, community, my favorite, spiritual, and there's many more. I'm just showing you some of these. When a coach is with a client, they would first of all help them to deal with issues and challenges and problems in each of these areas, and then help them to set and achieve goals in each of these areas, but doing it in a balanced and a very holistic way. You know, there's no point in helping someone become a multimillionaire if they have a heart attack and they die on the way. That seems counterproductive. There's no point in helping someone become a multimillionaire if they lose everything they love on the way. So we try and do it with our client in a balanced and a holistic way. There are many tools that we use. That is just one called the Wheel of Life. We have coaching models. There's about 150 coaching models. One, a very well-known one, is called the TGROW, TGROW. You might have come across it. It's been around for a while. So, for example, if you're with a client, we would start by talking about what is the topic, the area. Is it health, wealth, relationship, career, work-life balance, finances? What is the area, the topic that we should work on? The G is for goal. We then work with the client, helping them to set clear, smart goals based on what they want. Then we become like a detective and we look at the reality. What is really going on in your life right now? That takes us to the O for options. We look at ways, possibilities, options. What could we do to move this forward? And then we create an action plan, the W, the UBLV, the way forward. This is just one model. There's another one called the 3 R's. There's one called the Oscar, OSKAR, Solution Focused Coaching Model. One called Sparkle, SPARKLE. One called the Ideal, IDEAL. One called the ICE. In fact, let me show you a book if I can find one. Just take it off my bookshelf. I'm not selling this book. I'm not recommending it. This is written by one of our colleagues. It's called The Toolful Coach, written by Laura Komisson from Hungary, from Budapest. Wonderful coach. But in this book, she gives 150 coaching models and tools. So a good coach learns many of these different techniques, models, tools, and we teach them, by the way, so we teach them, so that when you are with a client, you have all of these tools available to help the client. Some of them are very specific, like a surgeon would use a specified special tool. So some of them are specifically for health coaching, wealth coaching, relationship coaching, parenting coaching, and others are more general. So a good coach would learn, and we teach, of course, many of these different coaching models. So any questions so far on anything I've covered? No one wants to talk to me. I understand. I take rejection very well.
What does RRR stand for?
Hi there.
Hello, sorry, I'm Pauline from the UK. What does RRR stand for?
The reality, the real situation, the reality, and how to resolve things.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay. But don't get caught up in the alphabet and so on. But thank you for that.
One question, sorry. When you're referring, you said before non-judgmental, non-directional, no answer. And now you're going to very specific models, and you mentioned health, parenting, etc. And the whole approach of the coachee owns or has all the resources or that higher intelligence that you were referring before applies to all the fields. Because to me, these specific ones, for instance, how a person will know what type of, let's say, go to health, let's go to exercises.
Yeah.
How, and I do not know the specific coaching technique that you described before, but what I'm asking is, would the coach has to know the specific techniques to give some guideline on how to become healthier, related to diet or related to whatever?
That's a great question. That's a great question. No, all of these models that I have just shown you and many, many more, they are all different types of questioning technique. They are very advanced questioning techniques. And the questions are designed to make the client go deep within themselves and come up with the answers that are correct for them. Now, Federico, to answer your question specifically, we must not get confused. A coach we are not a nutritionist, and there is a big difference, big difference between a sports coach and a life coach. Now, a sports coach, for example, someone who would take you into the gymnasium and work with you with weights, or a tennis coach, their type of coaching actually can be quite directional. They can give direct instruction as to what to do. But a life coach, an executive coach, a team coach, we don't. So we are not a physical sports coach. We are not a nutritionist. We are not a medical doctor. We do not give direct advice. But what we do is use very advanced questioning techniques, so the person goes deep within themselves to find the answer that is right for them. And the answer might be to go and do more research in an area. The answer might be to go and find out more information, potentially, possibly.
Thank you.
Not
It's
at all.
very good.
Not at all. Where are you from, Federico?
I'm Argentinian, but I'm in Vietnam.
Oh, wonderful. So from one side of the world to the other.
Yeah, that's right.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so let me show you. We have a definition of coaching. And by the way, anything I'm showing you here, my PowerPoint, any documents, if you want, we'll send them to you. It saves you having to make notes. It saves you having to copy anything. Just let us know and we'll email them all to you. So here is a definition of coaching. It's a one-page document. And the first two lines, I'll just read those out. Coaching is about performing at your best through the individual and private assistance of someone who will challenge, stimulate, and guide you to keep growing. So that's a two-line definition. And then the document goes on to explain in much greater detail. So let me talk to you a little bit about the difference between, here we have now, and here we have the future, and here we have the past. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between what we would call conventional therapy and professional coaching. Now, it's important to understand there are some wonderful therapies. There's actually over 50 different types of therapy, but you have Gestalt, transactional analysis, occupational therapy, cognitive behavior, and many more. Some of these are wonderful therapies. So I just want to give you an overview. There are some therapies, some, that will take a client from now into the past to help them to deal with an issue or a trauma or a problem so that they can then move into the future. That makes sense. However, coaching generally does not do that. Coaching usually starts here and now. We don't go into the past very much. We do a little bit. We teach things called timeline. We teach things called where do beliefs come from, where do disempowering beliefs come from, and so on. But generally, coaching starts from here and now and moves into the future, helping the client to create a compelling future for them. Now, I won't get into this in too much detail today. There are some wonderful organizations out there. There's one called the Heart Math Institute in America. Don't know if you've heard of it. Some wonderful scientists like Brian Lipton and Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden. There's been some very interesting work done in the last 5 years. You will all be aware that everything is energy-based. Absolutely everything is energy. Even this pen I am holding up is a form of energy, just vibrating at different frequencies. You know this from your physics at school. Your grandmother, I bet you heard your parents and grandparents say this phrase: where attention goes, energy flows. Whatever you give your attention to, you are giving your energy to. So if you are giving your attention to something in your past that you don't like, that is causing you harm, that is causing you dreadful thoughts, if you're giving your attention to something from the past that you don't want, guess what happens? Wherever you give your attention, you are providing energy, and whatever you provide energy to will grow. Where attention goes, energy flows. So you get more of what you're thinking about. And you know this, you've all heard the saying: you become what you think about most of the time. People say this all the time. You hear people in their language, they use phrases like, they say things like, oh, you know, in our family, we've never been lucky. Oh, our family, that's for other people. That's not for us. Have you ever heard that type of phrase? Yeah. Well, people are repeating, and what you think about becomes your reality. So coaching starts from the here and now and focuses on creating a compelling, wonderful future for our clients. All right. Let me show you a document. This is a document that we can send you if you like. I've written about 100 differences between conventional therapy and personal coaching. So therapy is all about personal strengthening. Coaching is about personal evolution. Therapy is about triage. Coaching is visioning. One is issue resolution. Coaching is problem solving. One is why me? Why this? The other is what's next? What's now? One is unconscious to conscious level. Coaching is conscious to a higher conscious level, and much, much more. So again, if you feel it would be helpful, be very happy to send that document to you. Just send us an email and we'll respond with all the documents attached and so on. So the point I'm trying to make is coaches work with clients. We don't have the answer. They have the answer within them, even though they don't always know that. They don't understand that. They don't often believe that. So as a coach, we help them to understand that they do, and using very advanced questioning techniques, we help them to reach deep within themselves and seek the appropriate answer for them. So does that make sense to everyone? Cool, cool. So let me give you some up-to-date facts and figures. You know, who trains to be a coach? Where do they come from? How much do they earn? Again, these facts come from PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, with their latest worldwide survey. So if we take, first of all, what we call life coaching. Life coaching is where one coach works on a personal, private basis with one individual. The average life coaching session, average, is about 60 minutes. About an hour. Some are a tiny bit less, some are a little bit more, but this is roughly what a coaching session would be. How much do coaches charge? So I'm going to give you figures for different parts of the world. So United Kingdom, USA, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, India. I could give you lots more, but I don't want to. So I want you to imagine a new coach just out of training, just completely newly qualified. When they are with their clients, they would charge on average per session. In the United Kingdom, it's about 60 to 70 UK pounds. In America, it's about 100 US dollars. In Western Europe, they use euros. Euros. It's the equivalent of about 80 to 90 euros. And in Eastern Europe, it's a bit less. It's about 40 to 50 euros. And in India, I'm going to use euros as well, but they charge in rupees. It would be around 40 euros. That is for a newly qualified coach. They're just getting their first clients. We then find something interesting happens. When a coach has been doing this for about 11 or 12 months, about a year, something interesting happens. They are seeing their clients push through barriers, overcoming obstacles. They're seeing their clients achieve goals. They're getting testimonials from their clients. Their confidence is rising and their competence is rising. And we see at about the 1 year point, most coaches put their prices up. And in the UK, they would be charging between 100 and 125 pounds per session. In the USA, between 150 and 180 US dollars. In Europe, between 130 and 150 euros. In Eastern Europe, between 80 and 100 euros. And in India, between about 75 to 80 euros per session. This is what we call life coaching. Clients, on average, don't have a session. The average engagement with a client would be maybe 8 or 9 sessions over a 6-month to 8-month period. Starting off at maybe 1 each week for a couple of weeks, and then it would move to 1 a month. That tends to be a very normal way of doing it. So, how many clients do you need? I don't know. But clients tend to stay with you. It showed, PwC again, show that the average client stays with the average coach for 18 months. And they have, on average, 1 or 2 sessions per month. So the point I'm trying to make is, and I know you can't answer this, how many clients do you want? How many clients do you need? Well, whenever, it's not going to be hundreds, it's going to be more like 10, 15, 20. Once you have the amount of clients you need, you don't need to keep replacing them every week. They stay with you for 1.5 years, 2 years, even more. So there is a great stability to your coaching practice. Now, this is life coaching, life coaching. We then have a thing called executive coaching. What is that? Well, executive coaching, the techniques are very similar, the methods are very similar, but it is where a coach is working with a middle to senior manager within a company. And it is usually paid for by the company. Usually. Not always, but usually. And in Europe, executive coaches are earning between, I'll put euros, £150 to 1,000, sorry, euros, 150 euros to 1,000 euros per session. Per session, not per day, not per week, not per month, per session. The people down here would be the newly qualified executive coaches, just newly out of training. The people here are the more established, what we call master coaches. They have a reputation, they have existing clients, they are well known within the marketplace. Within the world of coaching, there are 3 ranks. You have what we call, I'll start here, practitioner coach, senior coach, master coach. So every coach you meet, no matter where they are around the world, will be either a practitioner coach, a senior coach, or a master coach. And it's based on 2 things: the amount of training they have done and the amount of coaching hours they have done. To be a practitioner coach is between 50 and 100 hours. Senior coach is 500 hours plus, and a master coach is 2,000 hours. And the training, they would be a practitioner coach, about 200 hours of training, senior coach over 300, and a master coach is no longer training. It's about your standing. You would write a dissertation, you'd write a paper, which would be evaluated, and so on. So who trains to be a coach? So we have life coach, executive coach. Now, these are interesting figures. In a life coach, then all over the world, we are seeing that about 65% of the people who train are ladies, so women, and 35% are men. On executive coaching, what do you think the split is? Anyone hazard a guess? Talk to me. Give me a guess. What do you think the split is, men and women, for executive coaching?
The opposite.
The opposite. Ah. Well, I am very pleased to say it's actually 50-50. I'm so pleased to say that. And in my experience, and I've trained 25,000 coaches over 24 years, and we engage with them, we work with them. I have to say, I think the ladies make better coaches. Women make better coaches. I shouldn't say that really on camera, but I do. I think that they are more empathetic. They have the ability to be more empathetic and more compassionate. Would anyone agree with me or not agree with me? No. Some people nodding. Yeah. So that's my feeling, by the way. There's no hard facts to do with that. That's my judgment. Okay, so Any questions on anything to do with what we've covered so far? No? Okay, well, you can ask questions anytime. Anytime. So now, what I'd like to do, I'll go back to my PowerPoint. I'm hoping you can see this, all my different screens. That's the definition of coaching I told you about earlier. Accreditation, different levels. What I'd like to do is talk to you about training to be a coach. Some of you may want to do that, some of you may not. That's perfectly okay. Oh, by the way, I've got a gift. I've got a special gift to give everyone at the end. I only found out about this an hour before we started this. It's a very special gift. We have 20 different coach training programs. Everything from a one-day introduction right up to a master's degree in coaching. But we call it our flagship program. Our main program is called a PCD, Practitioner Coach Diploma. Now, the name already makes it stand out. One thing I didn't tell you all earlier, there are today in the world 900 coach training companies all over the world. 900. Noble Manhattan, our company, we are in the top 3. So they call it the Premier League, a bit like football, although we have nothing to do with football, and I don't play football, but if you know the words, the Premier League. 97% of all coach training courses are certificates. Ours is a diploma. In the world of education, you have certificate, above that you have diploma, and above that you have a degree at a university or college. So this is not as high as a degree, but it is much higher than a certificate. The course is over 400 hours of training, coaching, lectures, classroom, webinars, private tuition. It takes the average person 10 to 12 months. And the average person does either 6 or 7 hours a week for 10 or 12 months. However, it is incredibly flexible. You can put your blinkers on and go crazy and do it quicker, or you can stretch it out. You can take 10 months, 12 months, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 months. You can stop it. And this happens, people have babies, they move jobs, they move houses. So you can stop it and then come back later and carry on. So very flexible, but I'm giving you the average. When you register, no matter where you are in the whole world, we send you all of your course materials by private courier. So within 48 hours, a box will arrive with the course book, manual, handbook, logs, and absolutely everything. You don't need to get anything extra. We provide every single thing you need. You start by engaging in a certain amount of study. Home study. We tell you we give you training manuals to read, some exercises to do, some research to do online. There's a huge amount of engagement with other students. We set you up in a study buddy group. These are groups of between 4 and 6 people. You meet every week on Zoom or Google Hangouts or Teams. You meet every week for about 30 minutes. You practice coaching together. You help each other with written work. You act as a support group for each other. And you build incredible friendships and relationships. And you move through the course as a unit. There's some written work that you do. 5 pieces of written work, 5 essays. Now, the average essay is 1,000 words. To put that in perspective, one sheet of A5 is 500 words. So it is the equivalent of 2 sheets. So not a huge amount. And we give you examples of previous students' work to help guide you and so on. So don't be intimidated by that. They're very easy to do. So there's home study, some research, some written work, your study buddy groups. Then there's webinars. Every month, we deliver live webinars in the evening on coaching topics, questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, belief, self-esteem, goal planning, many, many subjects. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention, our course is in multiple languages. It is not all in English. So our course is available right now in Turkish, Polish, Romanian, Bulgarian, Spanish, English, Arabic, French, and we're working on Serbo-Croat, and it's nearly there. So 9 separate languages, and more will be coming. So you do not have to do the course in English if one of the other languages is better for you. So I just wanted to say that. So we deliver webinars, live webinars, every month in the evening. They're live, but they are also recorded. So if you cannot make the live version, that's okay. Because of family and having a meal at night with your children or your partner, you can log in the next day. We have a very sophisticated learning management system, and you can log in and download the recordings. Also, we give you a private tutor. We call them a mentor. And these are all senior qualified coaches, minimum. And they will be your private tutor for many, many months. They will work with you on a one-to-one basis. They will meet with you on a very regular basis on Zoom or Hangouts or Teams. And they will do many things. They will be your client. So every time you meet them, you'll do some practice coaching. They will give you immediate observation, feedback, guidance, advice. It's like having your own private driving instructor. And you will work with your mentor for many, many, many months. And when they feel you are ready, they will put you forward for your final assessment. And that is with a master coach. And that is you do a 45-minute live coaching session with a master coach. So it's like doing your driving training and like doing your driving test. And by the way, it doesn't matter if it doesn't go like you would like. You can redo it and redo it and redo it. So that's never, ever a problem. All of that, by the way, is only half of the course. You will then do coaching. You'll do at least 60 hours. We will show you how to do this. You can do it with other students. You can do it with people you know, and you'll be doing practice coaching throughout the whole program. Then we have our physical get-together bits. And there are 9 days in a classroom, broken down into 3 plus 6. So we come together for a 3-day residential. Why do we call it residential? Because we pay for all of the food, all of the accommodation, all of that is covered. And we do this in many places all over the world. So we come together and we do it in groups of 20 to 25 students with 8 trainers and staff. So a very high ratio. And it's 3 days of experiential coaching with observation and feedback. So that happens many times throughout the year, and you can decide which one to come on. You can pick whichever is best for you. Everyone gets a double room, so if you have a partner and you want to bring them, you can. We're very family friendly. If you want to bring your children, you can. They don't sit in the classroom with you during the day, but they can be with you for the whole 3 days. So we're very big on families, and we're happy for you to bring your partner if you want, or you treat it as a 3-day holiday for yourself, whichever is better. Then we have 6 one-day masterclasses, and they're held where you are, in your town or city. And that's 1 day a month for 6 months. And the masterclasses are incredible. They are experiential. And with a group, we experience coaching, we practice coaching. It is facilitated by a master coach with immediate observation and feedback. So all of that together goes to make up the practitioner coach diploma. And here on the PowerPoint, it's written in more formal ways. So it's a blended learning. So no matter what your learning style, it will suit you. We have many different modules. Each module has written material, handbooks, training manual, webinars, modules on questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, beliefs, self-esteem, building rapport, setting goals, and much, much more. We provide everything you need. All the manuals. We also provide support coaching for you throughout the program if you need it. When you finish your course and you are fully qualified, we don't let you go. We're a bit like the mafia. We never let you go. But I mean that in a nice way. And there's no money, no charge. We don't ask any payment. We allow you to carry on accessing the webinars forever. No charge. Now, we've been doing this for 24 years, and we have recorded every single lecture we have ever done. So we have a library of, I don't even know now, I've lost track. It's thousands of hours of recorded lectures. That is available to you the minute you become a student. And when you finish, when you're qualified, you still have access to that for the rest of your life. Also, we allow you to come back on the 3-day residential as many times as you want, no charge. No charge for the training. You pay a small admin fee for the administration, but there's no charge at all for the training. And we have students who come back again and again. That is our commitment to you on your ongoing road to becoming a master coach. I mentioned the study buddy groups, the coaching, and don't forget, we then have physical coaching support groups that meet in cities all over the world. So there's a good chance there is one in your city. And then we have the physical days. Here are some of our training. Oh, by the way, as well as doing it physically, we also have an online version. So the 3-day residential, if you don't want to, you can do the online version instead of flying and coming together. So if it's more appropriate for you to stay at home and do it online, we have all of that as well. But here are just some of our training centres worldwide. This is our training centre in England, near the town of Oxford. We have 2 training centres in Romania, one in the town of Predal in the mountains. It's gorgeous, I love that. And one in the centre of Bucharest. This is our training centre in Sofia in Bulgaria. It overlooks the city of Bulgaria. It's up halfway up the mountain, gorgeous. This is our one outside Warsaw in Poland. This one is very popular. This is in Antalya in Turkey. I don't know why, a lot of people seem to want to go to that one. It has spas, hammams, 5 swimming pools, all part of the package. You don't pay a penny. It's all part of it. This one is in West Palm Beach in Florida. So we always choose somewhere that is special, not just a big 4-star hotel in the middle of a city. It's always somewhere with a lovely atmosphere where you can experience 3 incredible days with your new friends and colleagues. So there's just some photographs from some previous ones. So the question on everyone's mind is bound to be, what is the cost of all of this? Right, it's a good question. First of all, I'm going to tell you, but first of all, I would recommend you look at the other coach training companies out there, and there are some great coach training companies also in the Premier League. There's one called CTI, great company, Coach Training Institute. There's one called Ericsson, great company. There's one called the Fielding Institute, very good company. They are all international, like we are. Every one of those charges between 12 and 14,000 US dollars. Every one of them. We don't. We charge about half of that. None of them provide all of the extra help and support that I've shown you. We are the only one that does that. But we're also different. First of all, the cost of our training is slightly different in each country because the cost of our delivery is different. When we put you up in hotels and all of that, it's slightly different in every country and the trainers. So whoever invited you to this, speak to them and they will show you exactly what the cost is in your country. But here's the important thing. No one pays the retail cost. We are the only coach training company in the world to do 2 things. Number 1, scholarship. We give a scholarship to every single student, everyone. And it is based on your circumstance. We ask you to fill in a Word document telling us about your situation. If you are a high-paid executive in a top salary job, you might get $100, 100 euros. If you are a single mother raising children on your own, you might get 2,000 euros given to you. This is money we give you. You do not have to pay it back. It's a scholarship. So every one of you is entitled to a scholarship. Also, we give APL. What does that mean? It means exemptions. If you have a background, knowledge, history, training, qualifications, or experience in an equivalent area, we do not think it is right to charge you money for what you already know. So we give you exemptions from part of the course. And that, of course, also reduces the cost as well. Everyone is entitled to find out what exemptions they would get, what scholarship they would get, and you do not have to commit to going ahead with the program. So you can find out what is available without being committed or obligated to go ahead with it. All of the other coach training companies have one price. It's take it or leave it. This makes us very, very different. So, any questions on that? Now, it's an important area. It's very important, of course, for most people. But we give very large scholarships, so please inquire. And finally, I'm coming towards the end. I want to finish off with a few minutes talking about something, and I hope I don't frighten you all away. I want to talk about spiritual coaching. But before I do that, I mentioned I have a gift. We are running, I talked about a masterclass. We run masterclasses in different parts of the world all the time in different languages. We do some of them physically, where we come together in a hotel room, in a meeting room, a conference room, or we do them online using Zoom. And they're full days, a whole day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And people pay for the masterclasses. They pay about 250 euros or $300. For anyone who is interested, we are running a masterclass on the 27th of this month, and it is free, completely free. So after this webinar, and if anyone is watching this recording later, this is also available to you. Just email and say you are interested in attending a masterclass, and we will give you details of the ones that are nearest to you. And you can attend a full day masterclass. You can experience it for zero cost. So again, something quite unusual. So what I want to do now, I want to talk a little bit about what I call spiritual coaching, and then we'll finish. And with that, you can ask any questions. What is spiritual coaching? Well, and it's a number of things. Number one, self-awareness. Who am I? What are my good? What are my bad points? What turns me on? What turns me off? There was a word written above a door in ancient Greece. The word was gnosti. It means know yourself, know thyself. It was written above the door of the Delphic oracle 3,000 years ago. What was true for us as humans 3,000 years ago was true 2,000, 1,000, today, and always will be. Know yourself. And this is what coaches do with our clients. We help the clients to look deep within themselves and to really understand who they are and what they are, to answer the big questions in life, and to become very comfortable with the person they find. Number two, being vision and value led. Spiritually intelligent people usually want to serve something bigger than themselves. Here's two different examples. Bill Gates, Mother Teresa. I don't know if you know those two names. No. One of those people had a vision of putting a computer on everyone's desk in the world. Another had the vision of feeding starving children in Calcutta. Both completely different visions, but both good in their own way. Coaching helps someone to create a vision for themselves, who they could be, who they should be, what they should do, what they should see, what they should achieve, and what could they leave, like a legacy. Very powerful. The capacity to face adversity and use it constructively, to own my weakness and learn from my mistakes. The word here is guilt. We all do it. We all at some point in our life feel guilty for something. And coaching helps people to understand what is the purpose of that? What is the meaning, the reason? What sits behind that? And the purpose of guilt is to help us to learn, to take from the past, to learn from the past, and invest that knowledge in the future, not to keep repeating. And coaching helps our clients to understand that, so they're able to break those patterns and go into the future having a fulfilling life. You know, I have a saying, you can borrow it if you like. I say, for me, the past is another country, and I don't live there anymore. You know, and that's powerful. A lot of people live in the past. We should be living in the future or towards the future. Next, being holistic, seeing the connection between things. If human beings only realize the real connection between all human beings, you could not for 1 minute think of hurting someone else. But I don't know if you watch the news. Right now, there are groups of people all over this world trying to hurt other groups of people all over this world. We have a word for it in coaching. We call it a disconnect. There's a huge disconnect out there. Because if people were truly connected, you could not think of hurting another human being. And coaching helps us to become connected, first of all, to ourselves and then to others. And it changes our perspective completely. Next, the ability to refrain from things. We're always getting involved in things, and so many things do not help us. You know, here's a good coaching question. How does this serve me? And so often we are engaged in activities that don't serve us. In fact, they're hurtful to us. Next, harmlessness and compassion. The number one rule in coaching is do no harm. And the second rule is show compassion for everyone. You know, sometimes people they say bad things, but you have no idea what's going on in their life. You have no idea what's going on in the background. Maybe they're having a terrible time financially or in their relationships. So coaching teaches us to show compassion. So only one more slide to go. Tolerance, the celebration of diversity. Coaching teaches us to celebrate everything that's different to us, not to push it away. Field independence. Coaching gives us strength. It gives us courage to stand up for what we believe, to stand up for our principles, to stand against the crowd sometimes. When everyone else is going in this direction and you want to go in that, it takes courage. Coaching gives us this courage. The ability and willingness to ask questions, to be concerned about the why of things. Coaching teaches us to constantly ask questions and be curious. And finally, spontaneity, flexibility, freedom, the passion to be, to know, to be free, the quality of living in the moment. This is what I call spiritual coaching. And this is what is unique about coaching. This is why coaching is changing the world. This is why coaching is the second fastest growing industry on the planet right now. And finally, this is my last slide. I believe that we as humans need three things. And this is my feelings, by the way. I'm just sharing with you. Number one, I think we all as humans need attention. We need attention. Why? To honor our deep-seated need for significance. We are all significant, and it is okay. It is okay to want to have a little bit of attention. Number two, appreciation. It's okay to want to be appreciated. You know, imagine you're at work and early in the morning and you do something and one of the senior managers comes along and they look at you and they say, "Did you do that?" And you say, "Yes." And they say, wow, I am so pleased. I am so proud of you. What a wonderful thing. I'm so proud of you for doing that. Imagine if that happened early in the morning at work. I promise you, you would feel good all day. But we live in a world where we don't show enough appreciation to each other. It's not encouraged. As a coach, we show appreciation for our clients in two ways. Not only for who they are, but for who they have the ability to be, for their ability to build and grow and expand and create and develop to be all that they can be. We show appreciation for that. And number three, we show affection. I don't mean affection in a physical way. I don't mean it in a funny way. I mean love. Remember I said earlier, what do you really need to be a coach? At the beginning, I said, you need to love working with people. If you love, let me put it another way. If you don't love working with people, It is impossible for you to sit down with another human being, to look them in the eye for an hour and to give them 100% complete attention. It is impossible for you to show that other human being absolute appreciation for who they are. You can only do that if you really love working with other people. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is why, I think is why coaching is the second fastest growing industry in the world right now. So I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say. Over to you. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, by the way, everything I've shown you, if you'd like to have a copy, just email us and we'll email you my PowerPoint, my PDFs, my Word documents, everything, and you can have that. So Brian has put his hand up. I can see that. Brian, you have a question.
Yes, sir. I have a question. I'm currently in the creative coaching class, the creative coaching course. There's very little participants. Like, I've probably come in contact with 2 that are active pretty much regularly. With that being said,
actually, we've got about 300 on the program, because every day we are getting their reflection notes sent in and reviewed by the team. So if you contact me, I'll get head office to put you in touch with others for a study buddy group.
Thank you so much. And that would be great as well. So the next thing I had for you would be, with that being said, getting our study buddy hours with the coaching hours. You said we can coach friends and things of that nature, right?
Correct.
Okay, so with your practitioner coach, when you're going to the practitioner coach, how could I take the creativity coaching course and move into the practitioner course? Would any of the knowledge overlap?
A little bit of it would, Brian. And what we do in that case, because we quite often have students on one course who then take one of our other courses, we give you exemptions from part of the second course, so you are not having to redo the same material again. We give you full exemptions.
And for future reference, sir, it's Brian.
Brian,
Yes, sir.
Forgive me, my friend.
It's all right, sir. That is all the questions I had. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone at all? We have people from so many different countries here today. It's wonderful to see you all. And by the way, I'm available. If any of you want to email me, you can do that. I'm also very easy to find on LinkedIn. There's very few people with my name, Gerard O'Donovan, and you can always connect and message me on that platform. And I promise I would always get back to you, always. So I want to thank you for your most precious gift, which is your time. Thank you for giving that. If you need anything at all, we're here. And maybe at some point in the future, as I travel around the world, visiting our offices, maybe we'll meet and have a coffee together. So thank you very much for your time today.